Alright, so this is going to be part 6 to What If Deku Had Dark Matter. So with that being said, let's just roll the intro. Alright, so I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And, because of Thanksgiving, I took a little break. So I hope you understand. So with that being said, let's just actually get into the what if. So yeah, in the last part, we just got done with the sports festival. So in this one, we're going over the Saiyan fight and the kind of internships. So Deku, he doesn't have One For All in this one. One For All is given to Ida instead. So Ida would have that kind of recommendation from All Might, or All Might would write about Ida to Gran Torino, making it where Gran Torino would have basically, what's it called? He would have given that chance to Ida to internship for him. And Ida would be in this weird position where he really wants to take revenge on the hero killer, but at the same time, he doesn't want to disrespect All Might, right? With this kind of proposal. Also, I'm not sure what Deku's hero name should be in this one. You guys can give me like your own idea for it. And yeah, I think even though Ida would not want to disrespect All Might, I think he would still go for that. I think his name was Manuel. I think he would still go with Manuel because he was just located in Hosu City. And Deku would still go to Gran Torino because I believe that All Might would have still told Gran Torino about Deku, and because of how powerful he is and how kind-hearted he is, so he would still kind of get that opportunity to internship with Gran Torino. So the basic stuff still happens. Deku would go to Gran Torino's house and then basically think he was dead, but realize that he wasn't. So Gran Torino would know a little bit about Deku's quirk, since All Might would explain it to him. And this is where Gran Torino would have to basically teach Deku different ways of using his quirk instead of, teaching him how to use One For All. So Gran Torino would basically do his normal training where he would just jump around his house from different angles and have Deku try to capture him, or try to hit him at least. So Deku at first would not know how to really get Gran Torino, since it is, very hard to predict where he would land next. So what Deku does is similar to how he went against Ida, but instead of, I guess it would be the same way where he went against Ida back in the Heroes vs. Villains, where he would spew out a bunch of liquid everywhere that would make it very slippery, and Gran Torino would not be able to really get a grip on his kind of surroundings. This would cause Gran Torino to kind of miss his footing and slip, making it more predictable where he would go next. And this is when Deku would basically punch Gran Torino, but with like a normal punch, since he doesn't want to hurt the guy. So Gran Torino would be impressed on how Deku was thinking and how he was able to actually land a hit on him. So he basically, over that kind of week, they basically train more, and not only physically but also with his quirk, basically giving him new ideas on how to use his quirk. And he basically tells Deku, like, have you tried making things that are alive? And Deku says no, because he doesn't feel like that's a good idea, since that's almost acting like God in a way. I'm not trying to make Deku religious in any way. It's just kind of how it feels, I guess. So Gran Torino would then say, well, what about making robots or anything like that? And this is what gets Deku thinking more and more, and he decides to make some kind of cyborg beetles. And the reason why I say this is that if you remember from my first video where I talked about the kind of different powers that Dark Matter has, this is one of them. When he gets into the revival stage, he actually makes those kind of how would you say, those kind of cybernetic kind of beetles that are basically like clones of him, and they're able to do things like just how Deku's able to do. So this is the first kind of steps into how Deku is actually going through that path, or trying to unlock those kind of powers that Revival has, but in his kind of normal state. So Deku would learn, and this is when he would get those beetles. And there isn't really a limit on really how many he could produce. So, yeah. So we would get to the day that Deku would have to go with Gran Torino to go to Tokyo to basically fight villains. And when they're on the train, this is when the Nomus would attack and basically break through the train, causing Gran Torino to follow after the Nomu. And Deku would follow Gran Torino using his wings to kind of fly. And this is when he sees Ida on the ground and he's fighting someone. That being Stain. But in this one, it's a little bit more fair of a fight, since Ida does have one for all. Deku would see Ida fighting, and he would see Ida rush towards Stain and try to kick him, while Stain would try to jump back, hopping from wall to wall, not letting Ida get close to him. So this is when Stain would try to dash and slash Ida, but right when this is when Stain is very close to Ida, and Ida basically uses Reciprocal Burst on his right leg, kicking Stain into the wall and causing him to kind of not knock out, but basically injuring him pretty severely. This is when Deku would try to go down there to see and maybe help Ida. So Stain is very close on the brink of unconsciousness, and this is when Ida is about to finish him, that being nearly killing him. But this is when Stain would stab Ida in the leg and basically lick his blood. This would cause Ida to be frozen, and Stain would get up slowly, since he is still recovering from his injuries, and talk about how Ida is no real hero, that he only came here for revenge, and things like that. Then he would talk about how he didn't even try to save the person that was gravely injured over there, that being Native. And this is when he's about to basically cut him again in his shoulder, to basically kill him, right? Or not really in his shoulder, but near his neck. And this is when Deku actually rushes in with his wings, using his wings to basically block the blade, and carrying Ida and put him to the side of the wall where Native's at. So this is when Deku uses his dark matter to heal both the wounds on Native as well as Ida, since he's able to do that. When he does this, it would leave a kind of white kind of spot where the wounds were healed, and basically that part of the skin would be permanently white. So this is when Deku would ask, what's wrong here? Why did this happen? And this is when Ida would explain, get out of here, Izuku. This isn't your fight. I need to do this. And this is when Deku would basically be like, no, I was here. You would have been dead if I wasn't here. I can't let you fight this guy. And this is when Ida would be like, no, I had it. I almost had it. I was about to, kill him. And this is when Deku would stop him and be like, Ida, what's wrong with you? Why do you want to kill this man? What? And then this is when Deku would basically put all the hints together about how Ingenium was basically killed. And this is most likely the hero killer, because his most likely spot would be Hosu. And this is when Deku would be like, I understand, Ida, but you just can't put the law in your hands and do that. So this is when Stain would basically try to get up again and talk about how Deku is almost like an angel, right? Because Deku would still have those kind of white wings, I mean, and as well as that kind of angelic kind of hero costume. So I think Stain would have that kind of respect for Deku for not only healing him but um, for healing Native. When I mean him, I mean Ida. So Deku or Stain would be like, I see that you're actually a real hero and not one of those fakes like most heroes are today. And this is when Deku would be like, what are you talking about? And this is when Stain would basically explain his philosophy on heroes and how heroes should work, and talk about how the heroes today are just in it for the money and glory and not really much else. Deku would get pretty angry at this and basically say, like, who are you to judge whether or not someone's a true hero or not? If they do their job, if they help people, if they save people's lives, why does it matter if they do it for money or for fame? The only thing that matters is that they're actually helping people. And this is when Deku would basically shoot dark matter towards, or basically do like a small gust of wind using his wings. This would be enough to basically hit Stain into the wall, causing him to basically lose unconsciousness. And this is when Deku would basically spew more or dark matter onto Stain, basically making ropes around him and binding him there. This after this was done, this is when he would basically text Gran Torino where his location's at, and after a while, this is when the rest of the heroes would come, that including Endeavor, Gran Torino, and the rest of the heroes that were there. And this is when Gran Torino would see the hero killer, and both Ida and Native somewhat, or not injured because they would have been healed, but these kind of, they would have seen the blood, right? So they would have been surprised that Deku would be able to, was the one who got him. And as they're kind of, cheering, or they're kind of happy that the hero killer was stopped by Deku. And as this is going down, this is when the when the Nomus come and actually picks up Deku, trying to take him away. Deku would not really be in the mood for this, since of what Stain basically said to him, and knowing that these Nomus aren't really people, this is when Deku would basically use his wings to basically cut the Nomu, basically its leg off, and letting go of Deku. This is when Endeavor would basically finish off the Nomu by throwing a kind of fire javelin through its head, causing it to crash and burn. So yeah, I'm going to end it here, and in the next video we'll go over the kind of the heroes are the students versus teachers, and then after that maybe the movie. So yeah, with that being said, this is going to be in the video. So yeah.